Good morning. Thank you for attending this service or viewing it. Please excuse my physical absence this morning. I am in Phoenix. I'm there with Kyoko for the Arizona Buddhist Temple's 90th anniversary. And so it would seem that I'm over there and you're here. You're here and I'm over there. You're here in Pasadena, I'm over there in Phoenix. My elder son is in Illinois, and my younger son's in San Jose. And these differences in location and the separation they imply are real. And yet, there is only one reality. And that one reality includes us and those whom we love, both living and deceased. That one reality, this inseparable universal process is us. We are part of it. We are one within it. Real process, life, is a system of occurrences. Persons awakening to Buddhahood are among those occurrences. Our oneness with the awakening of the Buddha is real. Of course, our losses are real as well, and they are painful. The fact that my mother has returned to the process of life implies the hope that she too will awaken fully to goodness and truth as a Buddha one day. All living beings have Buddha nature. However hopefully I think about this, nonetheless, it doesn't change the fact that I'm unable to chat with her right now. In Amida Buddha's pure realm, among the fulfillments that I expect is the equivalent of chatting with my mother. The equivalent of spending time with her in pleasant conversation. The term for this equivalence in the sutras is Soku, and I'll ask Alan to cue this character. You don't need to look hard here because Alan's putting it up on the screen for you. Soku, it has several meanings in Buddhist usage. One is immediately, and Shinran sometimes uses it with that meaning, immediately, equal to, identical to, inseparable from, the equivalent of, the exact equivalent of. In Mahayana Buddhism, all these meanings are used, but the meaning that I'm really focusing on right now is this exact equivalence. That in awakening to Buddhahood, I will experience the exact equivalent to chatting with my mother. The dynamic process of life awakening to itself as Buddhas will heal our losses. Within this one life coming to consciousness of itself, we can fulfill our deepest potentials and meet our deepest needs. We all have needs and losses, hopes and aspirations. A valid religion, a worthy spiritual path must meet our needs, soothe us during times of loss, fulfill our hopes, nurture our aspirations, and reinforce our positive human values. Reinforce those positive human values we already hold. Shakyamuni Buddha, about 25 centuries ago, discovered the startling oneness of all. The startling oneness of all persons, places, objects, and events. He and his students, the Buddha and his students, have been drawing the implications out of that discovery now for 25 centuries. Buddhist tradition is developmental, progressive and ever deepening. As I look at Buddhist tradition, I see an ever deepening, ever broadening explanation of what the inseparable unity of all things and all events truly implies. When I look at Buddhist history, the history of Buddhist development, for me it looks like really a straightforward process of development, of progressive development, right up through the end of the 17th century. I'm not saying the last 3 centuries haven't been good, I'm just saying how long is that? 22 centuries, I see an ever deepening and broadening vision. And I think we kind of got as far as we can get about 300 years ago. There's new ways of phrasing it, but the last really meaningful development I see in Buddhist tradition was Obaku Zen. Started in Nagasaki just after the turn of the 17th century, moved to the Uji area, Monpukuji. Since then, I have been unimpressed with the new schools of Buddhism, but I would recommend any of the couple of hundred schools of Buddhism that developed sometime between the 5th, 6th century BC and the 18th century after the Common Era began. We're 800 years old. It's taken 2,500 years and several hundred unique schools of Buddhist thought and practice to explain that vision of the non-duality of all things, the intermingling of all in one, the universality of process. These explanations and understandings and activities that the Buddha and his students have been giving us now for 25 centuries can comfort us in times of loss. The Buddhist teachings can help us to meet our needs. Buddhist teachings can bring our hopes to fruition. The Buddhist path can help us to bring our hopes to fruition. The Buddhist teachings can help support our aspirations. And again, Buddhism strengthens our commitment to the positive side of human valuation. It will reinforce our positive human values. Now, please allow me to comment briefly on these ways that our stream of Buddhist tradition assists us. We are assisted by the Buddhist tradition, and one way that the Pure Land approach to Mahayana Buddhism soothes us in time of loss is what I've already been talking about, that I expect the exact equivalent of conversing with my deceased mother, chatting with my deceased ex-wife, telling Jeff Beck what a wonderful guitar player he was, etc., etc., etc. Soku, Soku, Soku. So I'll ask you to put this character up again one more time briefly, if you would, Alan. Soku, 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 etc., etc., etc. It'll be like that, but better. Everything you're wishing for and more, but not in exactly the terms we're thinking it, because we have failed to see the deep, interpenetrating, mutual oneness of all things. The Buddha saw this and is helping us to wake up to it. This way of understanding awakening to Buddhahood in Amita's pure realm does soothe my loss, my sense of loss, does mute my sadness over my mother dying, my ex-wife dying, my friends dying, Reverend Michael Ayashi, Reverend Ken O'Neill, Reverend Laverne Sasaki. I'm sad to lose friends. I'm sad to lose family. But believing that I will be united with them in a real conscious way, although I can't understand how, in a conscious communicating way, helps to soothe my sense of loss and my sadness. Community, the Sangha, is a crucial aspect of Theravada and Mahayana Buddhism. Having a Sangha, having this community, helps fulfill a basic human need that we all have. Some of us might have been just as happy in another sort of community. Not me, and not some of you. This is our home. Without this community, some of us would never have found a way to meet, and the basic human need for fellowship. The basic human need for fellowship is met through the Sangha, through the Buddhist community, and for some of us, this is the only way that need will be met. Now, healthy, sane people also need to aspire to do more and do better, and to help others, to help things to be better for others and help others to do better for themselves. Therefore, the Buddhist tradition does, basing itself on this discernment of the oneness of all, present virtues for our cultivation. And those basic virtues are, as you know, generosity, decency, patience, diligence, mental and emotional collectedness, and wisdom. These virtues the development of such virtues are all the result of seeing all life as one. Seeing all life as an inseparable bundle of dynamisms. Life is an inseparable bundle of dynamisms. Oneness is real. Separation is an illusion. We're all on planet Earth. We're all part of an inseparable dynamism that is awakening to itself and producing Buddhas in the process. Producing Buddhas here, there, and everywhere. Resist it as we may, we are each of us Buddhas in the making. I will close my comments there. I'll ask you to join me in closing our show. Again, I apologize for not being here in person this morning, and I thank Alan Goto for recording this talk. As you wish, please join in our show. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much.